Hey everybody, it's Steph with Debt Free Spending, and I am so excited that you are delving deeper into our financial freedom plan. Today's video is going to walk you through basically our financial freedom plan, our monthly budget, and our debt repayment plan. So the first thing that we're going to do is come down here to the PDF of the financial freedom plan, and we're going to talk about that briefly. So when you click on that, we have a PDF for you of the 7 or so steps, 8 steps to get you on the road to becoming debt-free. The first one is to complete the debt repayment plan printable, which we're going to be going over in a couple minutes. The second one is setting up a monthly budget. We'll be going over that in a couple minutes. The third one is we want you to save $1,500, and you're going to do this before you start paying any extra on your debts, because if you always have to have a little bit in savings, let's say we call that margin or a little bit of wiggle room, and you want to always be saving between $50 and $200 a month into that same savings account. But once you've reached $1,500, then we feel you're pretty safe to begin adding extra payments to your debt. Because the problem is, if you put every single penny you have towards debt reduction and you go over budget, you're just going to be back into debt. So the whole point of saving up the $1,500 is to basically have a little bit of a nest egg there so that you can continue to pay on your debt and not worry about going into more debt. So that's the point of number 3. Number 4, you're going to begin paying extra towards your debt, and you can either do this 2 ways. We're going to come up with our debt repayment plan, but you're going to have to decide, do you want to start with the lowest balance first and continue to pay extra on that debt until it's completely paid off, and then snowball into the next one and the next one, the next bigger, loan that you have or debt that you have. So you start small, pay off the smallest, and then start paying on the next one and the next one till you're paying finally on the biggest one that you have. Or do you go by paying off your largest interest rates first? So for example, if you have a credit card that has a higher balance, let's say at 20% interest, and you have $500 balance, maybe you're going to want to pay on that first before you pay on that student loan that maybe has 4.99% interest, because that way, if you pay on the highest interest rate debt first, then you're basically helping to eliminate how much you're spending on interest each month. Now the problem with this is it depends on your personality. There's lots of financial gurus out there. I can name at least 4 off the top of my head that all have their different opinions, but I feel that it depends on your personality. Are you somebody that likes to get momentum going, so you want to pay off that smallest balance first quickly so that you can kind of, just, okay, feel good about it and then keep going and keep going? Or are you somebody that's truly just a numbers person where you just want to get out of debt, and spend the least amount of money as quick as possible? So you're going to have to decide once you get your debt repayment plan printable up and running which way you're going to be headed in that direction. And we will talk more in another subsequent video about that. Number 5, you're going to be saving 3 to 6 months living expenses. Once you've begin paying extra towards your debt, then you're going to kind of want to come up with a debt repayment plan. And then once you've paid all those debts off, then you're going to do number 5. So you don't do number 5 until you've really paid off all your debt, other than your mortgage, or maybe you're going to want to save for a down payment for a house or something bigger. So the next step, number 5, is save to 3 to 6 months in living expenses. This is a safety net in case you lose your job or become ill. So you're going to multiply your net income by 3 or 6, and in this range is about the money that you need to save. So for example, if you make $1,000 a month, then you're going to need to save between $3,000 and $6,000 to come up with kind of like, your safety net. This is like a short-term disability plan, or if something happens that you get sick or you lose your job, you're covered for a couple months and you don't have to rush into making quick decisions because you've got a little bit of time. So again, once you've saved that extra income, you're gonna look at maybe start paying off your mortgage or saving for a down payment on a house. Now, or saving for something bigger, like maybe you want to pay for a car in cash, or you have some other financial goal. But again, you want to make sure you have that 3 to 6 months, and this is after you've paid off all your debt. So it's going to take us a while to probably get to number 5. We're going to be on step number 4 for probably quite a while, depending on your level of debt. And then number 6, obviously pay extra on your mortgage, save for a down payment, or save for something big. Maybe you're going to be paying, saving up to spend to pay for another car. And then number 7, you should really be doing giving all that way. I mean, we're big believers in giving, but you should be investing your money at number 7, maybe in either extra retirement, or that's something that we don't give financial advice about here, but you would have to decide where your investments would go. And then finally, we want you to join our Debt-Free Living Facebook group, and that's our free group. We also have our Debt Reduction Facebook group, which is kind of one of our pro groups where people pay extra, and we have some great extra perks for you in there as well. So we're going to be including the link to that blog post and to the overall blog post for the Financial Freedom Plan, the budget, and the debt repayment plan as well. So this is again, our Financial Freedom Plan. Now we're going to go over our monthly budget. Actually, let's do our debt repayment plan first. So if we go over to that blog post, and I'll have all the links for these again in our description under the video. So now we're going to be looking at the debt repayment plan with the free printable. This is where you're going to list all of your debts and everything that you owe in order. So in here you're going to come in, you're going to put, car loan balance, how much you owe on it, the interest rate, maybe you owe 4.99%, and the interest rate, your payment might be, $200, and when is that going to be paid off? So that's where you're going to list all of your creditors and how much you owe to each one, and that's what's going to help us come up with our debt repayment plan. Now, again, going back to what we said earlier, you're going to have to decide whether you want to pay off the highest interest rate balances first, or whether you want to pay off the lowest balance, where you maybe owe a couple $100 on this one, maybe you owe $1,000 on this one, maybe you owe $10,000 on this one, where you're going to be snowballing it into a larger amount. That's up to you. It depends on your personality. Then what I want you to do is I want you to find out when these things are going to be paid off, and then calculate how long it's going to take to get to each one of these, and then you'll decide which is the best route for me to go. Do I want to be paid off in 2 years? Do I want to be paid off in 1 year? What's the best way for me to go to get all of these debts paid off? Again, that is something that if you sign up for one of the pro accounts, we can walk you through, where you can decide which one you want to pay first, which one you want to pay second, and try to help you figure out when all of those debts will be paid off. If you're not into math and you want somebody to do that with you and for you, definitely sign up for one of our pro accounts. The other thing that we can help you with is if you are over the limit or you are behind in payments, we can help you by teaching you how to write the letters to those different creditors and getting you the information that you need on where to write them. We can even give you some sample letters that we've written to other creditors as well. So please, definitely get with me at steph@debtfreespending.com. Again, that's steph@debtfreespending.com. And I will hook you up with some different links to some of the information, or the link to our pro groups. So again, you're filling out all the creditors' names and how much you're going to owe, and trying to decide when it's going to be paid off and how fast you want to pay it off. That's the whole point of that plan. Then once you've done that, you actually have to decide what your budget's going to be. And this is the most important thing, really, because we want you to, we really want you to kind of decide, do I even have any money left to put on my debt? Some people think, I'm going to pay off my debt. Well, then they're not even budgeting enough that they have any extra towards debt repayment. So we have our free printable here. It's very simple. The amount that you pay each month, any notes you want to put in those, some other fixed expenses that you might have, and non-fixed expenses, things that you might want to consider. And then you need to decide, how much do you have extra going in, how much do you have going out, and do you have any extra to put towards your loan, and credit payments to get out of debt quicker? So that's the purpose of coming up with a budget, to making sure that you have a surplus, or start creating a surplus, to number one, get that $1,500 in savings, and then the next step is to create a surplus or extra each month in your budget to be able to go towards your debt repayment plan. So again, I can't emphasize that enough. If you don't have surplus coming into your pocket every month, then you're not going to be able to pay off your debt, and you're not going to be able to even have a normal budget. You have to create a surplus. And so that's what we're going to talk about in some subsequent videos in the pro group, about how to create that margin, how to create that extra budget in your income, or in your budget as well, either by paring down expenses or ramping up your income and making sure that you're creating that surplus. So, these are the basics to becoming debt-free, and if it's something that you really want, we really want some committed people to be part of our pro group. Again, it's the cheapest is $10 a month. If you you can afford that, we will definitely encourage you and help you. We'll do everything we can to get you on the road to being debt-free as quick as possible. And so that is really what we want, is to be able to help as many people as we can, as inexpensively as we can, but at least sign up for that lowest group so that you can get into the Facebook group or on an email list from me where we can have a sit-down one-to-one and talk about your debt. Everyone will get at least a 15-minute one-to-one about these forms that we're giving you, where you'll print out these forms, you'll fill them out, you'll fill out your own information, and we'll talk or chat either online or over the phone about how to set up the best way to set up a surplus for you and the best way to point you in the next direction. So hopefully we've helped you with our free resources. Hope you guys are having a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.